All right, let's kick it off with the Washington Commanders at the Philadelphia Eagles NFC Championship game. Eagles 6-point favorites. The total is 47 and a half. And speak of the devil, Sean, who do you like
Yeah.
for the Washington Commanders?
Obviously, I'm sticking with De'Ami Brown here at plus 350. He's just on a heater right now, so got to keep it rolling. You know, he followed up his season best game against Tampa Bay in the opening round with 5 catches, 89 yards, and a touchdown, with another season high last week. 6 catches, 98 yards, no touchdown though against the Lions. So, hopefully he'll bounce back in that department this week. But he did come through for my over 33 and a half receiving yards prop with ease. This is obviously a brutal matchup against the Eagles, but he did post a solid 4 catches, 56 yards against them back in week 16. Similar to last week, I think this is a spot where the Commanders will probably be in more of a trailing pass heavy game script, which also means more, 3 wide receiver sets. The Commanders use 3 wide receiver sets at a 10% higher rate when trailing. De'Ami Brown should see more playing time, more targets as a result. He ran around on 78% of Daniel's dropbacks last week. He's also seen a target rate of 20% plus in 3 straight games. So just the underlying usage with him is, really, really good. And he's seen 5 catches, 10 plus yards downfield in the playoffs. So those explosive targets, can result in touchdowns. Last week, he just barely missed on his 38-yard catch, just short of the goal line. So I think, if he continues to see downfield passes and the usage he's seen, plus 350, sign me up for that. I think he's shown some sneaky value here.
Yeah, and I think the Cosme injury for Washington kind of adds value to all of
Mm.
their passing game because you're not really going to run it right at Jalen Carter with a backup guard in there. So I think it's going to be a lot of passing down in scoring position and whatnot. And like you said, could be a trailing game script as well. So love Diami as usual. Got a few guys. My top play for the Commanders in this game is Zach Ertz. And the way I'm looking at this matchup for Ertz is if you look at the first time these two teams met, Vic Fangio against Daniels played just coverage. He did not blitz and he just kind of sat back and, they did play their man coverage, but no blitzing. The second time they blitzed a lot and Daniels completely torched them in that 36-33 game. So I think, and he's been torching the blitz all playoff long. So I think that Vic Fangio is going to go back to a little bit less of an aggressive style. And if you look at the Commanders' route breakdowns versus the blitz and non-blitz, Zach Ertz is targeted at a much higher rate when teams don't blitz. And that's why Ertz had a big game in that first matchup, didn't really do much in that 36-33 upset in the second one. So I think it's going to kind of swing back to him in this spot. And he really is their, I would say, number 2 red zone target after Terry McLaurin. And that shows in terms of his routes run in the red zone. He's number 2 and he's number 2 when they don't blitz. So I think this is going to be a good spot for Ertz. So love him at plus 295. Also, a couple of other guys, long shots. Jamison Crowder is 12-1. And, you mentioned the Commanders could be playing more 3 wide sets. Olamide Zaccheaus has kind of been losing a little bit of playing time. He's been splitting that slot role now that Diami has the outside role. He's been splitting the slot role with Crowder, and you get a little bit of Luke McCaffrey as well. So I think Crowder's a little bit undervalued here. He actually did catch a couple touchdowns in that first matchup, but that's not why I like him here. I just show value based on, projecting him for about a 35% routes run rate. I think he's a little bit undervalued, should be closer to 10-1. And I see there's one book where my nemesis, John Bates, is
Yeah.
plus 3,000. That's got to be an error, but it's up. I've seen it. So I can confirm
Yeah.
it's there. He barely missed a touchdown against Detroit. Daniels, one of his few missed throws, just kind of threw it a little too short armed it. Bates would have had a walk-in touchdown So yeah, I think there's some value there as well because Bates is also kind of seeing a little bit of an uptick in playing time as well for the Commanders, maybe, due to his blocking, but we saw he can kind of sneak out and be left open. So Ertz is my top play, but also Crowder and Bates if you can get the plus 3,000.
Yeah, I can confirm he's still 30-1 at FanDuel right now.
Ridiculous.
And he's similar to like Brock Wright last week, where I was like, do I think he'll score a touchdown? Probably not, but he shouldn't be 12-1. 30-1 is insane. Like, where would you project it at?
I have it
What would
closer
you bet it down
to,
to? Because
let's
like even if it's
see,
like 25-1, that's probably still worth a sprinkle.
yeah, no, it should be about. I think it should be about 15-1. Yeah, it's because
Yeah,
he's hitting about a 40% routes run rate. I have it projected more conservatively, because tight ends in trailing game script they can play less, so I have it more like 25-30%. Yeah, and I'm still showing a ton of value. Like
and he
that's
could be more likely to be in on like goal line packages, right? With heavy personnel, two tight ends. Like, do you know if more of his routes are kind of in the red zone or not?
yeah. Oh yeah,
Um, yeah,
he is one of their top seven, top 6, 7 guys. Like
there you
it's like
go.
the top 2 receivers, and then yeah, he's right there. I mean, I'm sure you saw him in a ton last week.
Yeah.
That's almost every week for them at the goal line because they're not playing their rookie really anymore, Ben Sinnott. So yeah, Bates is one of the staples in their red zone package. All right, let's flip it over to the Philadelphia Eagles. And I know you like Devonte Smith. I like him too. I think he is the top play on the Eagles side. And that's because, number one, I think people are, kind of thinking Jalen Hurts, they're kind of down on him in the market. Like his passing yardage prop is very low. But if he is affected by that knee injury, and who knows with the way the Eagles kind of do it, they're not very forthcoming when it comes to injuries. But if he is affected by the knee, it would limit his scrambling ability, and that would keep him in the pocket. So he would actually, his pass attempts could actually go up compared to a typical
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts type of game. And also, like this Commander team has done nothing but win its last 3 games as an underdog outright, including its last 2 on the road. So let's not act like there's just like automatic positive game script for the Eagles. Like this game it's a third division game. This could be a trailing game script for at least part of it for the Eagles as well. So that I think creates some value on the pass catchers. I think Smith is kind of the obvious guy here because AJ Brown still a little bit inflated in the market. Don't know where he's at health wise. Goddard is popped up on the injury report. Devonte Smith, I think, is just the clear guy who he can beat zone, but he can also beat man. And I think he's really the only guy that I show some decent value in the single touchdown market. But Saquon Barkley in the multi-touchdown market, we've talked about this before. I do show some value both at 2 TDs at plus 250 on DK and 3+ at plus 1,000 on DK. So I have Saquon to score 3 or more touchdowns around plus 950. So not a massive value, but I mean, for a 10-1 payout on something that could very well happen, especially if Jalen Hurts is in fact, kind of hampered. I think that's too juicy to pass up. And we've seen Saquon. I mean, Saquon is just out of this world with the way he's playing right now. So I thought I'd mention that one as well. So Devonte, and then is my favorite, but Saquon 2+ at plus 250 and 3+ at 10-1. Like those as well.
Yeah, I like Devonte again. I think I got him at like plus 220 last week. I think anytime you could get Smith at 2-1 or higher, you just got to take it. He's been kind of screwed over by Saquon being so good.
Yeah.
I mean, Saquon definitely has the record for most like 60+ yard rushing touchdowns. I would assume that would regress at some point, and maybe allow somebody like Devonte Smith to score. But yeah, you made a great point with Hurts. This knee injury could compromise his scrambling ability a bit or just enough to lead to, an extra target or two for Smith. So I haven't even factored that in yet, but I think, yeah, Smith has some sneaky upside here at plus 200.
All right. Yeah. And what's interesting is I was kind of hoping that the market would be down on like Hurts in the multi-touchdown market because I mean, the one rushing attempt that he did have after the knee injury. The Eagles ran 19 plays, and the one non-kneel down rush attempt he had was a tush push, and it was overturned by a penalty, so it didn't count. But that, that's something where maybe they continue to do, but they just don't call, the design, like, the zone reads and things like that, things to the edge, and he wasn't scrambling, but he could still easily get 2 touchdowns, but he's still a little inflated in the market. So maybe if he comes down, I'll post it in the app or something, but was hoping we get that too. But Saquon is the value for me.
Yeah.